Rill, number 9 on our Season 3 leaderboard right now. He's a little bit further behind, not really in the race at this point, but he can certainly work his way into it. He's won 4 Open Series events.
Yeah, so Eric's at 20, and it looks like Lawrence, he does have some good cards in here. So he has 2 copies of Mutavault along with a Thassa, so. Let's see if Eric has a Supreme Verdict. Supreme Verdict is going to be pretty good here. Not backbreaking because Lawrence still has a Thassa in play along with the Mutavault. But Lawrence is going to have to do some work here to catch up. He's going to scry on his upkeep.
He's got the most important card to play right now, I think, which is Thassa.
Yeah, Thassa's obviously very, very good against control. He does play a Master of Waves, but I think Eric has an answer to that.
Yeah, Rill's got a couple of lands in his hand. You can see in Azorius Guildgate, a card that he's been a fan of in blue-white for some time now. Not really sure the rest of the contents at this point. For Creech, Thassa's the card that can actually keep him in the game, and we have seen this quite a bit with Mono Blue versus Blue-White. Mono Blue typically wants to do this bobbing and weaving with counter spells, just deploy 1 or 2 threats at a time. Hopefully you can slide a Thassa in and there's no detention sphere. Taking a look at Rill's deck list, he does have 4 spheres, so he's on the planar cleansing route that we have seen Jim Davis and other players employ.
Yeah. And for Lawrence, you really need a Biden or a Jace here because you want to be able to turn on your Thassa to attack. Without not being able to do that, you're basically just scrying each turn. So, because Eric can usually deal with your other blue permanents.
Rill does play a Jace. He's going to tick that up. Then he plays Azorius Guildgate before passing the turn back over to Creech. Creech with a Thassa, scries the top card to the bottom. Did not like what he saw, so he does draw a mystery card for the turn. Again, those creatures that'll be attacking, they only have 1 power. You're going to fire Mutavault now.
Yeah, this is odd because this is basically just a fog because I believe Lawrence has enough power because Mutavault gets plus from the elemental. So I believe he has enough power to kill the Jace here. So Eric basically just fogged for the turn.
Yeah, he might be okay with just doing that.
Yeah, might have just wanted a fog.
There's also, the thing where Creech has to know that this is going to happen. Because, see, now it looks like it only goes down to 2, so it looks like some things went some different directions and some damage was dealt, where I'm with you. He could have just killed the Jace that turn.
Yeah, I think you have to just kill Jace if you can, but it looks like he might have gone after Eric, yeah.
Rill's hand right now looks like there's a whole bunch of lands. I can see a Mutavault. There's a couple other lands over there right now, so not the best hand in the world at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think Esper definitely has a good matchup against Mono Blue Devotion. Blue-White, though, without those targeted spells like Doomblade, to help you out, it can be tough because you don't really have, you have Celestial Flare, but obviously that wasn't nearly as effective. That's not nearly as effective sometimes as Doomblade, particularly against Master of the Waves. So, yeah, Blue-White control, I think it should be okay because you have cards like Last Breath, but Gerard Fabiano won the Open in Providence with an Esper deck that he loved his matchup against Mono Blue because after board, he has 12 cards that are 2-mana removal spells.
Yeah. No, his plan against Mono Blue was great. We watched him beat Reed Duke in the finals, and it was a very, very one-sided affair for Fabiano when he did win 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so it looks like both players forgot that Mutavault gets pumped from the Master of the Waves.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of clarification going on, but I think we're okay. And now here's a verdict to clear all this stuff up. Creech's last card in his hand is dissolved. You can't counter that.
Yeah, and now this is the problem with not killing the Jace last turn. Obviously, if you don't know your Mutavault gets pumped, then that attack makes sense. But by not killing the Jace, now you really can't kill the Jace.
Top card from Creech's Annihilating puts that to the bottom. Mystery draw. Looks like it was a Mutavault. That's actually a pretty good draw, all things considered. If you're going to draw a land, that's the best one to find. But the tide is turning a little bit now in favor of Rill. Now he has an active Jace. He's underneath any pressure. There's no board here for Creech. And if you're Rill, you have to assume if you're playing against Mono Blue, all right, chances are my opponent has a counter spell.
Yeah.
If they're not doing anything, maybe Cyclonic Rift, Rapid Hybridization, what have you. But, I can put my opponent on a range of cards to play around, as Rill does tick down his Jace. 2 lands are going to go to the bottom. Temple of Enlightenment's going to go to the grip. And that looks like the land he's going to play, and it is, so it's time to scry.
So Creech still not in bad shape just because Eric's not drawing a Revelations or anything, or an Elspeth. So Lawrence should be able to kill the Jace next turn. Rill does have a Mutavault of his own, but Thassa can make Lawrence's Mutavault unblockable, so he should be able to kill Jace next turn. So that's step 1 to winning this game.
As long as nothing goes wrong. Yeah.
He has a dissolve too. So last turn, I think he just didn't want to give his Mutavault unblockability because he wants to keep dissolve mana up.
Sure.
Obviously, Elspeth Elspeth's the main card you're afraid of. You just don't want your opponent to get an Elspeth to resolve. Everything else you can kind of deal with, but Elspeth is just too hard.
Creech going to take a look at the top card here. Looks like he will activate a Mutavault. And he's going to go after Jace. And now it's time to make that unblockable. And now Azorius Charm is going to ruin everyone's day.
Wow. So not only is he not allowed to keep Dissolve mana up, but he's not even able to go after the Jace this turn. So very good turn for Eric. If he can top deck a bomb here, he can pretty much take control of this game. Unfortunately, it looks like he just has lands left.
His hand's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. Now he's attacking with a Mutavault. Kind of tipping his hand a little bit. If he's attacking with Mutavault, his hand must not be very good at all.
He still has that Jace, though.
Yeah. Jace did take up to 2. He does play a Hollow Fountain before passing the turn back. Creech is going to draw that Mutavault that he knew about. Going to put that into play. Of course, the question here is does he want to try to fire up his Mutavault again, even though it won't get the job done to kill it? Can contain the Jace, or would he rather have the Counterspell? The answer is leave up the Counterspell. As Rill looks like drew a Jace for the turn.
And Lawrence, it looked like he did have a Nightveil Spectre in his hand and chose not to use it.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's leaving up Dissolve at this point. I mean, Spectre's obviously going to take 3 blue, so he won't be able to cast Dissolve. So the question is, do I just want to leave Dissolve up, or do I want to put a Spectre into play?
Yeah. So this is actually a pretty hard decision for Eric here. I think Azorius Charm Mutavault is actually a little bit better since you already have a Jace in your hand. But it looks like he's going to go for the other Jace.
Jace is mighty powerful.
It's so powerful.
It's hard to say no to the Architect of Thought.
So here we're going to see a Jace here. Is it going to resolve? No. Dissolve will get cast. But we know Eric does have a second Jace, so I think he'll be okay with that.
Take a look at the top. That one's going to go to the bottom from the Dissolve. And now here is the other Jace from Rill. That's going to take up to 5, which means Creech is going to be able to get it off the table, presumably. Creech is going to take a look at the top card. It's another Thassa, so that's going to go down to the bottom. Mystery card is coming. Didn't get a great look at it. He's going to deploy the Spectre now. Devotion is up to 4. Going to fire up Mutavault, work towards Jace. It's going to go down to 4, and that'll be the turn. So Thassa's almost on, but the shields are down here for Creech.
Yeah, he has to basically dodge something in Elspeth. Looks like Rill's probably just going to down-tick his Jace here, given that he just drew a Celestial Flare.
How does he want to use it? That's the question. I mean, at this point, he's looking for a card like Revelation. Has to be a little bit scared of a card like Dispel with 1 blue mana being available, but he needs to find some sort of action, presumably. He looks like a little bit torn, and if he wants to go up or down with Jace, he's going to go down. 3 cards are coming. 2 copies of the Detention Sphere and an Azorius Charm.
Yeah, I think you have to down-tick there just because if you hit Elspeth, it's just too good.
Yeah.
So you have to take your chance. He did get 2 removal spells, so it's going to help him protect his Jace. And plus, he did draw Celestial Flare for the turn, so I think he's pretty well positioned here.
Yeah, D-Sphere is a good spot to be in. Take care of the Thassa, which is helping Creech's draws. Not that much, but better than nothing. I mean, Creech's draws, if Thassa wasn't in play, would be quite poor.
Yeah.
So D-Sphere is going to take care of that. And Rill, as you mentioned, does have the Flare in his hand, also has an Azorius Charm, so Nightveil Spectre will not connect this turn.
Yeah, and plus, it's going to be hard for Lawrence to even go after the Jace just because Eric does have 2 Mutavaults in play. So if he just attacks with Nightveil Spectre, then that's just going to get Celestial Flare. So Eric's in pretty good shape here because of that timely Jace that revealed 3 removal spells.
We're firing up the vaults anyway. Into the red zone we go with the 2-man lands and the Nightveil Spectre. Not quite sure where they're going, but we will find out for everybody at home. As it looks like we're going to begin things with a Azorius Charm, maybe some activations of Mutavaults. And it looks like Rill's man lands will now be active. And it looks like Spectre is going to Eric, and Mutavaults are at Jace. So Rill going to fire both of his Mutavaults. Again, has the ability to cast Flare or Charm at this point.
Yeah, I kind of like just blocking here.
Charming there.
I don't know. I might have just let that one resolve. Take a hit.
Just take the hit?
Yeah.
Fair. Creech is going to play an island pass the turn back. I think if you're really happy with that exchange, though.
Yeah, you love it. Mutavault is much more effective on Lauren's side than yours.
No. There's the Spectre, pass the turn back. Rill going to down tick Jace. He's looking for some sort of action, and we finally found some.
Wow. Vanishing Light and Sphinx's Revelation. So here it goes. It's going to be tough for Lawrence to kind of come out of this one now.
Assuming that this Sphinx's Revelation resolves, it will be very difficult for Creech to get out of this. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I didn't notice that one either.
I missed that one. Pardon me. The Sun's champion making an appearance. Going to take up to 5 3-soldier tokens coming in with the Revelation in reserve. Creech's hand, he just drew an island. I don't think the other card's very good either.
And it just kind of goes to show you, you know, that one turn where Lawrence didn't realize his Mutavault gets +1 from the
big.
It basically caused all of this.
Yep, it's
he
big.
could have dealt with the Jace, the initial Jace right away. Unfortunately, you got to remember, Master Ways, Mutavault is all creature types. So
It's a combo.
you got to remember that.
I buy Nefthasa.
Oh, a little too late for that one.
A Sphinx's Revelation will resolve. Eric is playing a little quicker now.
Oh,
That's
suddenly,
strange.
yes.
That's strange.
He looks like he's a lot more enthusiastic.
Gonna draw 6 cards, gain 6 life, up to 17, goes number 9 on our Season 3 leaderboard. And he's gonna put this away shortly here. Rill is someone who's been playing blue-white control for a very, very long time, as Elspeth is gonna take up to here to 7, so the ultimate is on the way. Very comfortable playing this kind of deck. Creech is going to draw, and he's going to concede the game. So Eric Rill is going to win this match over Lawrence Creech, 2-1. Blue-white control takes down mono-blue Devotion. And Rill, a player from the Ohio area, making the drive out here in Baltimore, he knows that this is a very big weekend for him in Season 3.